Hey family, it's your boy, Chef Rick, the Blind Chef. Today we're taking a trip into deep, rich, herb-forward comfort. We're making a fine dining version of Ghormeh Sabzi, a slow-simmered Persian herb and lamb stew. No bitterness, just bright sumac, paprika, fresh herbs, and a smooth, velvety broth. This version is allergy-friendly, dairy-free, gluten-free optional, and built with the Unseen Cuisine sensory method. We cook with touch, we cook with smell, we cook with sound, and we cook without limits. So let's get into it. For the ingredients, this is the base. You're gonna need 1.5 pounds of lamb shoulder or beef chuck cut into 2-inch chunks. You're gonna need kosher salt, 6 tablespoons of vegetable oil divided into 3, 2 medium onions finely chopped. For the beans and tang in this dish, you're gonna need 1/2 cup of dried kidney beans soaked overnight, or 1 can of kidney beans. You're going to rinse. You gotta make sure they're rinsed. You're gonna need 1/2 cup of lime juice as well. For the spice mix, you're gonna need 2.5 to 5 teaspoons of sumac, 1.25 to 2.5 teaspoons of paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric, 1/2 tablespoon of dried celery leaves, or 1 to 2 tablespoons of fresh minced celery. Now for the fresh herbs, you're gonna need 4 bunches of parsley, stems removed, 1 bunch of cilantro, stems removed also, 2 bunches of scallions, thinly sliced. Now, with all that said, let's get into it and let's start cooking. Step 1, you wanna brown the meat. You want to season your lamb or beef with salt and let it sit for 20 minutes. Then pat it dry. You want to make sure it's matte, not slippery. Then you want to heat 3 tablespoons of oil in a pot over medium-high heat. Remember, hold your hand over the pot, make sure it's warm. And then when you put the oil in, you don't want no aggressive popping. And then you want to add the meat. Now your sensory cues for this, the sound, steady, confident sizzle, not popping when it comes to the oil. Touch, the meat will vibrate slightly as it sears. When it's ready to flip, it will release off the pan easily. You want to brown on all sides for 10 to 15 minutes, remove and set aside. Step 2, you want to build the stew base. You want to add your chopped onions into the same pot, stirring up the fond until they soften and turn golden, about 8 to 10 minutes. Your touch cue, onions go from sharp and slippery to soft and sticky. Then you want to return the brown meat back into the pot. Then you want to add your lime juice, your turmeric, and dried kidney beans if you're using dried kidney beans. Now, if you're not using dried kidney beans, just add your lime juice, your turmeric, and we can keep moving. And then you want to stir until fragrant. Then you want to add 5 cups of water. Bring it to a boil, then turn it all the way down to a simmer. The sound cue you're listening for is a gentle bubbling, like a slow heartbeat. That's the sound of stew coming alive. You want to simmer for 1 hour, partially covered. Step 3, you want to prepare your fresh herbs. Finally chop your parsley, cilantro, and scallions, and celery if using. Touch cue, herbs should feel light and fluffy, never chunky. You want them to melt into the broth later. Step 4, fry the herbs and bloom the spices. This is the heart of Ghormeh Sabzi. This is where the magic happens. You want to heat the remaining 3 tablespoons of oil in the skillet over medium heat. You want to add all your chopped herbs at once. Stir constantly for 8 to 10 minutes. The sensory for this starts with wet leaves. It becomes sticky and heavier. The aroma turns warm and earthy, deep and comforting. Then you want to add your spices, sumac, paprika, celery leaves, and turmeric if you didn't add it earlier. You want to keep frying for another 8 to 10 minutes until it forms a dark herb paste. This is your flavor engine. All that flavor is going to be in that right there. Step 5, combine and slow simmer. You want to stir the herb paste into your stew pot. Mix well until everything is evenly distributed. Season lightly with salt. Partially cover for 2.5 hours stirring every 30 minutes. Doneness cue. The meat breaks down and break apart with a spoon, no force. Beans are tender. Sauce feels velvety when you move it on the spoon, not watery, not too thin. If it gets too thick, you just add a half cup of water. Now, important, when I mentioned the beans, those were dried beans. But if you're using canned beans, you can add them at the last 10 minutes of the cooking process. Step 6, serve. Turn the heat off and let the stew rest for 10 minutes. You want to serve over basmati rice, Persian style rice with crunchy tangy, or cauliflower rice for a lighter version. This is comfort, this is depth, this is slow simmering elegance on a plate. Health notes. Lamb and beef offer iron, zinc, and B vitamins for energy. Fresh herbs supply antioxidants and anti-inflammatory benefits. Lime juice plus sumac brightens flavor naturally, reducing the need for salt. Kidney beans add fiber, protein, and blood sugar balance. Slow simmering makes the dish easier to digest. Dairy-free, gluten-free with gluten-free stock. Nut-free, soy-free. Allergy notes. This dish is dairy-free again, gluten-free with a gluten-free option, soy-free, egg-free, and nut-free. Bean substitutions. You can use chickpeas, white beans, lentils. Use avocado oil or olive oil for a clean, allergen-safe base. Frying herbs is the soul of the dish. You want to listen, smell, feel your way through it. The sumac and paprika keep everything bright without bitterness. When the stew is ready, your spoon will move slow, like the stew is hugging it. Don't rush the simmer. Patience is what unlocks the depth. This stew is even better tomorrow. Trust me, I love this stuff. Thank you for cooking with me. Another beautiful, blind-friendly, allergy-friendly dish you can make with nothing but your senses and heart. Cooking without limits is where food heals and flavor inspires. And I'm Chef Rick.